Hello, today we're going to talk about plastics and the effect that they have on our bodies, where they are disposed, and the laws and policies that California uses to regulate the use of plastic in the state.
Americans alone discard more than 30 million tons of plastic each year. Only 8% of it gets recycled. But what is plastic? It is a cheap, sterile, and convenient material. It's made of synthetic polymers that are lightweight, durable, and can be molded into any shape. Plastics are easily mass-produced and is in our plumbing, packaging, clothing, furniture, and appliances. There are 7 different types of plastics that we use in our daily life. However, we will talk about the first 3 most commonly used plastic types. The first type is called PET or PET, and it can be recycled as polyester fibers and drinking bottles. The second is known as high-density polyethylene. This type of plastic is also used in bottles, grocery bags, recycling bins, playground equipment, and plastic lumber. Lastly, the third type of plastic is PVC, more commonly used in pipes, fencing, and non-food bottles. We began using these plastics for everyday things that are meant to be thrown away, and they have become 1/3 of all trash disposed of in the United States. A lot of this plastic ends up in our oceans and rivers. Due to its durability, buoyancy, and ability to accumulate and concentrate toxins present in the ocean, it can be especially harmful to marine life. Entanglement, ingestion, and habitat disruption all result from plastic ending up in the spaces where our animals live. UV rays and sea waves break down the plastics into smaller pieces, about 200 millimeters in size or less, creating what is called microplastics. It is estimated that between 15 to 51 trillion particles of this microplastic are in our world's ocean, weighing between 93 and 236,000 metric tons according to a 2015 paper that analyzed multiple research studies.
More than half the world's population does not have access to regular trash collection, a grim statistic given the amount of garbage produced globally. The United States, China, Brazil, Japan, and Germany are the leading trash generators. The US produced about 228 million tons of waste in 2006, a figure that climbed to 254 tons by 2013. China, with a population around 4 times larger than that of the US, is close behind, with 190 million tons of waste per year. The more urbanized and industrialized a country becomes, the more trash it produces. The United Nations Environment Program predicts the amount of waste will probably double in lower-income African and Asian cities as a result of population growth, urbanization, and rising consumption. Percent of MSW in waste facilities. Landfills 52.25%, waste-to-energy plants 12.8%, composters 8.9%, recycling centers 25.6%. Landfills. Just over 52% of the country's garbage ends up in one of more than 3,000 active landfills scattered throughout the US. Landfills are designed to store waste, but not to break it down. They are lined with clay and covered in a flexible plastic skin. Drains and pipes crisscross each layer to collect leachate, a contaminated fluid created by garbage. As the layer fills, it is covered over with another sheet of plastic and topped with soil and plants. The layers of trash form hills. Eventually, the garbage will decompose, but the process is slow in this oxygen-free environment. Recycling facilities and composters. Roughly 35% of all solid waste goes to either a recycling or composting facility. Recycling facilities generally focus on processing aluminum, plastics, paper, and glass, while composters use food and agricultural waste to create compost for municipal and consumer use. By 1995, our citizens, businesses, and local governments together have achieved a 25% statewide diversion rate. and prospects are good for meeting the year 2000 goal. But even when this goal is reached, we will still have more than 22 million tons of waste per year to dispose in our state's landfill. Today, 21 of the state's 58 counties, having 41% of the population, will exhaust their disposal capacity within 15 years. It takes 7 to 10 years to plan, design, and permit a new landfill. Recognizing this problem, Cal Recycle has worked with other concerned agencies to expedite sitting and streamline the permit process while still protecting the environment. Cal Recycle has also initiated regulation studies and demonstration projects designed to encourage a more efficient use of our landfills through landfill mining, space-saving cover materials, and baling or shredding of waste.
In 1989, California passed the Waste Management Act to divert 50% of all solid waste from landfills through source reduction, recycling, and composting. Today, California has 4 of the top recycling cities in the United States, including San Francisco, Los Angeles, San Jose, and San Diego. In 2006, an assembly bill was passed to require retail stores to adopt an at-store recycling program, where plastic bags used at retailers must have clearly printed, "Please return to a participating store for recycling" on the bag. In 2011, a Senate bill was passed to require manufacturers of compostable plastic bags to ensure that the bag is readily and easily identifiable from other bags. It prohibits a compostable plastic bag to be sold in the state from displaying a chasing arrow resin identification code or recycling symbol in any form. In 2014, the state passed a bill that would prohibit certain large stores from providing single-use plastic bags unless the store made the bag available for 10 cents and other conditions are met as well. California is putting into effect a plastic straw ban, which applies to only full-service dine-in restaurants, not fast food establishments or other businesses. It sets a fine of $25 per day for restaurants that violate this rule, with a total not to exceed $300 annually. This makes California the first state to ban both plastic bags and plastic straws. The Ocean Cleanup Project is a project designed to collect plastic litter floating between California and Hawaii. Engineers have deployed a 2,000-foot-long floating boom from San Francisco to the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, which is an island of trash twice the size of Texas. Their goal is to collect 50% of this garbage patch in the next 5 years.